what they prepared for us against CFO, who seem to have a true style in terms of their team fighting. A roster that is traditionally built around JunJia in the jungle, the carry player that loves to get given resources and utilize those to initiate fights. He's been showing a versatility of different champions so far at this tournament, and I'm wondering what style he's going to bring out today against UmTi.
And last night, when I was going back and watching through some of the VODs from the games that have already happened so far here at First Stand, just to refresh my memory, get things right back to the frontal lobe there. One thing that I was noticing from a lot of the Oysters games so far is they want to scrap early.
Yeah.
They are not afraid to get in your face with only a couple of minutes on the clock, and Team Liquid will need to be ready to answer that aggro. In the domestic LTA competition, a lot of teams won't be able to pressure them early on like that, so I want to see if they're prepared for the CFO aggro. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. Team Liquid on blue side here in the first game. Skarner, Zyra, Yeon banned for them. Kalista and Rumble banned so far for CFO. So they are not buying into the Kalista is actually bad narrative here just yet. They're going to keep that one off the table.
Yeah, they're a team that has so far very much avoided the pick. I wonder if Varus will join the ban pool. We've seen Taliyah really be a powerful champion so far in the meta. And with these powerful AD carries taken off the board, especially with Skarner, does maokai now raise in priority for UmTi becomes the immediate question. Because when we know these teams like to fight, maokai just provides so much value, but then Azir becomes another question as well. Is Azir going to be a high priority in this series and for these mid laners?
UmTi loving the maokai pick historically. When you've seen him before with Team Liquid, when you've seen some of their big success, it was maokai and Sejuani that were two of the biggest ones that they would continue to put him on. Lots of options available though, and it will be that Taliyah, APA, plenty of experience on this champ. Team Liquid knows how to play well around it. APA becomes a very good facilitator to rotate up top, maybe make some picks with impact, or even better, facilitate Yeon and Core in the bottom lane.
I think it also just acts as an effective answer into the Azir possibility that we could see from hongQ, just because of its ability to get early prio, the roaming and side lane threat that you can provide, along with the ability to just match. Even if you don't quite have the same scaling team fight threat that Azir does have, it's something that is a pretty solid matchup. Now, with the Azir locked in, you imagine that with the Ezreal locked in, you imagine the Azir to follow, and just like that CFO locking in with their traditional style, that front to back that we very much expect from this roster.
And although Taliyah might have a good answer into Azir with the Unraveled Earth, remember that Ezreal, because his arcane shift is a blink and not a dash, he has a bit more safety against Taliyah than some other AD carries might. Over on the Team Liquid side,
how stressed are you now, Flowers?
I am very stressed. I subscribe to the LS school of thought. Vi is bad.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. I am not a coach. I am not a professional player, but it looks like Team Liquid is saying, okay, if they want to go front to back, we're going to disrupt them, because you've got Taliyah that can cut off the lines they're trying to draw, and Vi and Kai'Sa are telling me it's time to dive. And
KC adopted a very similar approach in their series against CFO, and they shut that down. They love it when you try to initiate onto their team fight style. I think a maokai would be great. No, instead they're going to go for a little bit more of a different frontliner in the way that Zhao can act as that initiation tool and can provide a lot of space with the ultimate. I'd like to see some follow-up. You're looking at things like Rel that can be effective. Leona, also nice pairings in the bot side of the map. And given that you do get that first pick priority on the second half of the draft, wouldn't be surprised to see things like Braum potentially banned, Alistar, Nautilus as options for CFO.
Both teams still needing to draft both top and support picks on this one. We do have not really a whole lot of flex potential anywhere with the first 6 picks so far in the draft. Jax is going to be the first ban for CFO, going towards another one of those dive-style heavy threat champions, and one of the ones that Impact knows how to play.
I'm telling you right now, Rest, when he comes in the first game of the series, K'Sante is normally the champion. They like to put him on. He's a very good K'Sante player. We know him for a lot of his carries, but with the Jax ban, definitely leaning towards a K'Sante for me in the direction of their... and then they can counterpick with their support as well. The Leona are going to be taken away. I wonder if TL will consider the Ral themselves, assuming that they give over the K'Sante, they can trust Impact to have an answer. The Nautilus, interestingly, going to come through from CFO. I thought they would remove something like the Gnar as a possibility on the top side. Instead, going to mitigate that bot lane pool. And I think it's wise, because I think if they chose to ban away the Rel, Nautilus Kai'Sa looks like a really good bot lane matchup for Team Liquid.
I mean, Nautilus Kai'Sa, that's just one of the all-time classic duos that you think of for bottom laners that like to dive. So I like the ban there from CFO. I wonder if Team Liquid will just ban this Kai'Sa that you're predicting so heavily on the other side. No, instead, they are going to shut down a notorious anti-dive champion in Poppy. Very good at neutralizing a lot of the mobility that's required to get into the back line, stop that front-to-back game plan of CFO. But let's see. We're expecting the Kai'Sa here, right?
That's very much what I'm expecting,
okay.
Unless they want to shift their priorities and want to give counterpick to Rest, which is a possibility. But he is a player, like, they often put him in game one, even though he's more of the carry-orientated player, the one with the slightly more different picks. They usually trust him to play the Kai'Sa.
Okay.
And so when he's in the roster, if Kai'Sa is up, they're going to lock it in. And throughout this tournament, we've seen teams repeatedly ban this champion away from him, but he's finally going to get his hands on it.
Well, Team Liquid will call the fight. They'll say, all right, throw the gauntlet down. We've got an answer for the Kai'Sa, but what will that answer be here for Impact? We see plenty of dive already in the first 3 picks. I have to expect Team Liquid is going to stay on that theme. Impact on Ambessa, it's not been a good pick for him so far. I'm telling you that right now. As soon as you just said that, somewhere out in the distance, I guarantee you Ezreal just said, I hope not. Like, that's, I
But
know.
in terms of the draft, I mean, that would make sense to me. I mean, Kai'Sa, Vi Ambessa was known as a very effective dive combo because of how quickly they can access a single target. The follow-up, regardless of which ultimate lands first, it's just easy pickings.
Gwen! Okay, it will be Gwen packed in the top lane to try to cut through the tanky Kai'Sa. This is one of those champions that traditionally has fared well in the matchup against him in lane.
It also does quite well against these longer range compositions just because the fact that she can mitigate so much of that damage. Her W and Xin Zhao's ultimate's pretty much identical, right? And so when you have Ezreal and Azir trying to hit you from the other side of the rift, it's just not going to be as effective, which is why Gwen can act as an effective front-to-back style teamfight comp, especially in these long-range compositions. The problem is when that mist does in fact fade, then Azir and Ezreal, I mean, the execution on these fights is going to be crucial, and so eyes will be on UmTi. He's got good follow-up with CoreJJ on the Rakan, but in terms of execution, CFO's composition on paper looks like the traditional front-to-back, easy to play, or easier to play, I should say. And the burden of execution is going to heavily fall on TL. They can't afford to have the Gwen fall behind. Going to be an effective side lane threat. They do have incredible skirmishing power with this Taliyah Vi. It's such a powerful early game mid-jungle duo that I want to see TL leverage to get those early objectives, force earlier fights where you know you have the advantage before Azir gets to a problem point. And then with this Rakan, with the amount of mobility it has on the map, I want to see CoreJJ being proactive in looking for these early game plays.
So which draft do you favor?
I mean, on paper, I do think CFO's is easier to execute, but I think TL's gives them a lot more agency. Okay. So I would say, because I don't really trust TL, I prefer CFO.
That's totally fair. That's the kind of answer that I'm looking for here. So the pressure is on Team Liquid to be able to execute, to be able to not allow Azir and Ezreal to just stand there as these massive artillery cannons and destroy before they can get into the back line and do their jobs.
But crucially, and this is one of the things, the reason why I'm a bit of a pessimist around Xin Zhao is because he is a champion that can very easily commit without proper follow-up. And so timing and patience is crucial when you're playing these more front-to-back style compositions, because if you go in too deep and your Azir and Ezreal's left isolated, that Gwen is going to snip, snip, snip.
All right, let's do it. We're on to the Rift for game number 1, day number 4, here at First Stand, Team Liquid versus CFO. Both 1-1, both would love to go up to that critical 2-win point that just feels so much better for breaking into the bracket stage.
Oh, it certainly does, especially given that both have that win over KC. Even though KC got that win over Top Esports, the fact that both these teams have separated themselves from KC and have that winning record just put them in a favorable position. So whoever wins here really puts them in a comfortable spot for top 4.
All right, nothing crazy here at level 1. Nobody's going for any sneaky invades just yet. Looks like, 1:15 on the clock. Doesn't even appear to be some delayed action, but you can see down in the bottom lane, they are camping the brush, seeing if maybe they can get some cheeky damage as their opponents try to enter into the lane. But APA versus hongQ, this is one that I'm really interested in, especially since we saw at the top of the day, APA was talking about in the teaser how hongQ's, he's this really young player. He's fresh to the international stage.
He's very respectful.
Yeah, but then he said, I want to get in his head. I want to make him make mistakes. I want to play mind games with him. And that's exactly the kind of player APA is. And I want to see how that game plan plays out for him.
Yeah, I mean, APA really has transcended internationally, the BM, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone knows who he is. Yapped in America, I should say, has really made his presence known on the international stage. And I think that he's had highlights and lowlights throughout this tournament. We've seen him get solo killed twice, but he has also made some fantastic plays that have been crucial to the success of Team Liquid, especially in that series against KC. As the level 2 comes through.
Immediately engaging. TL in some trouble down here in the bottom lane. Doggo wants CoreJJ. He gets away for now. TL barely hanging on here as the last Mystic shot connects onto Core. The level 2 immediate engage from Kaiwing gets the better of TL easily. Meanwhile, back in mid, hongQ and APA trading equally, but nobody near as close to death as the bot side fight.
Doggo committed both of his summoner spells to that engage. He thought that if I can flash in range of CoreJJ, that I can guarantee a follow-up Q, and as long as I keep hitting these auto attacks, this is a guaranteed first blood. But, oh, the dive.
All right, 2v1, Yeon popping the barrier, needs to stay alive here. Kaiwing, one more shot, might just kill him. First blood over to Yeon in the 1v2. Does he get the kill credit on the second one? No, he didn't tag him. So it's 2 dead on CFO, but only 1 credit. Back over to TL.
I mean, so the good news for CFO is that they denied that wave. So in terms of XP, there's a slight advantage. But the fact that Yeon could still get a kill back is kind of the best case scenario for him. That ramping tower damage, you really saw the impact of that in the bot lane.
Yeah, those things are no joke when they're heating up early on in this. Like you said, though, the minion wave being crashed into the turret does mean a little bit of EXP deny. Kaiwing now rotating up here to guarantee that JunJia can secure this crab without any difficulty. APA knows he doesn't want to go anywhere near this river. That control ward dropped in the brush now, going to help remove a little bit more of that vision, and APA knows he needs to play towards the top side of this mid lane. Let's take a look at the dive here in the bot lane again.
So, of course, the CFO bot lane still only level 2. Doggo connects the Q, but all he can do is auto attack. That final auto coming in from Yeon as well. And then just the ramping tower damage. Very little to break down as CFO. I mean, the good news is that the tower did get the execute. If Yeon had gotten 2 kills, that would have been much worse for CFO's bot lane 2 versus 2. But with this stacked wave, there is the threat of a dive, good vision coverage on the bot side of the map, and now they'll spot out UmTi, which means that information will be known and they should be relatively safe in the bot lane.
All right, JunJia doing a good job there. Gets the entirety of the chicken camp before UmTi can show up, try to steal any of it away. But UmTi will continue pressing all the way forward, trying to force JunJia out of his own jungle. And UmTi's going to start up the Krugs here, but JunJia wrapping the long way around to try to contest it. But Impact has also left the top lane as he's ready to rotate over and help his jungler. UmTi's still sticking around a little bit longer, fighting for the baby Krugs. But despite the fact that it looked like we might get a scrap there, everybody just decides, hey, Krugs are gone, nothing to fight for, walk it off.
UmTi, ooh. Nice knockback from APA.
Shove, yeah.
Just a bit of damage will come through. The mana relatively low from hongQ. Oh, but those auto attacks, hang on, APA. Whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
APA really overplaying his hand there. Thought he might be able to stick around, bait hongQ into a bad spot, but that's just a free summoner spell now spent by the Team Liquid mid laner.
That was definitely a misplay from APA. He was so close to getting solo killed. I imagine mana was the reason why hongQ didn't commit to the play. He gets the flash out from him. But I was about to say, I love that UmTi is playing really well around his prio. Impacts and APA are doing a good job of keeping the waves pushed in their respective solo lanes, and UmTi utilizing that to try and steal away some camps. He gets the top Krugs, he also gets his full top side. But regardless, JunJia still finds himself with a camp lead. He's going to secure the Gromp on the bot side of the map. He's going to be pathing this way. Flash still available for Yeon. And I wonder if there will be an angle. Oh, look at the roam coming through from APA. The ping's already coming through from hongQ.
Yep, they're thinking about it. Nice. Doggo doing a good job there, utilizing the buffer capability of the Arcane Shift. Even though he technically gets tagged by the Grand Entrance, he can still move out of that knock-up anyway. As JunJia hanging out in this bot side river, they know that APA is 6. They know that Team Liquid wants to look for some type of a roam time or some type of a play to make here with the Weaver's Wall, and they want to shut that potential down in the bot lane as UmTi will take the opportunity. Okay, APA is drawing their attention towards the bottom side of the map, the bot side river. Let's go for the top side, look for the Void Grubs.
Keep your eyes on the mini-map and notice that CoreJJ is moving on the map, whereas Kaiwing is actually staying. JunJia looking to contest this is dangerous because even though they've gotten the push in the mid lane, the push from... Oh, Impact deciding not to move just yet. Now he's going to make his way down.
Okay, APA Nice flash there from JunJia. Escapes the seismic shove that would have been a seriously dire circumstance for him. So both junglers have already committed a smite to secure one of the first 3 grubs for themselves. That last grub now being taken by UmTi. So no credit towards feats on this first pack of the grubs, but still a slight advantage for the TL side. hongQ, good job again with the buffer through the seismic shove to dash away from that one. Yes, he still got hit by a little bit of the stun from the unraveled earth, but it does not matter.
Yeah, I will say that the Herald was definitely the grubs was a little bit of a mess because I think that TL had the numbers advantage, but because Impact decided to move so late, they couldn't really leverage it. So that meant that because they were able to get the push in mid thanks to hongQ, they could contest in the 2 versus 1, force UmTi back, and they still had access to one of those grubs. So it will deny one of those early objectives that contribute to the feats of strength, which ultimately, considering how hyped up they were at the beginning of the split, have largely tapered off. Their ultimate value is not as game-changing as I think that we initially believed, especially after the nerfs came through. And now JunJia's going to convert that pressure onto the bot side of the map into their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, feels good for CFO. Should be able to pick this one up with no contest. UmTi just going to utilize the opportunity, steal away the red buff from the enemy jungle at the same time. Wants to be up here towards this top side of the map. You can see as Impact had that big wave that he was pushing up to crash it into the turret. They want to make sure they can get that crash. The biggest individual gold lead in the game does belong to Impact. This is the nature of the Gwen versus Kai'Sa lane matchup. Gwen can zone him away from a lot. You can see first item Negatron Cloak after the D-Shield purchased for Rest just to endure some of that damage because Gwen can be very oppressive for Kai'Sa to deal with.
Certainly can be. And now they're setting up for a dive onto Rest. The roam has come through from APA as well.
Okay. Now, Vedius, I have seen this play many times before, and many times I have seen it go wrong. Kai'Sa is a tough champion to dive, and Team Liquid's going in for it. Raz doing a good job buffering away. All out on APA, and Team Liquid is made to play the full Rest. Puts them to sleep.
Rest just broke their ankles. He played that perfectly. He buffered the unstoppable, he connected the ultimate onto APA, and then the flash in from Kaiwing to provide that support. Rest, though, he may have always said he's welcome. The TP coming through.
Yep, UmTi and Impact trying to put the work into him here. They need to use the last cast of the Gwen ulti and cut him down. Now the TP from hongQ. Impact doing a good job to just use that hallowed mist, not be knocked back. So TL does get one in return, but man, Rest was so ready for that tower dive.
Now some of the lane swaps have come through as hongQ moves his way into top lane. He should stick around to catch that wave, but we'll look back at this play and notice the timing here from Rest. So the first thing he's going to do is create space, so he dodges away from the Vi. The ulti from Vi actually goes into the unstoppable, and then he connects the ultimate onto APA. It's unfortunate that Kaiwing ends up getting the kill, but the fact that he was able to outplay that is only kind of usurped by the fact that he then tries to push in an extra wave. He should have had support from his jungler to escort that wave underneath the tower, as both Impact and UmTi stick around to punish him. And the TPs this early in the game, they take so long that hongQ really can't offer much support.
You know, Vedius, the League of Legends player in me is proud that I predicted that diving the Kai'Sa could end in disaster. The North American fan in me is sad that I predicted that ending in disaster.
Okay, the good news is Impact still gets a kill. You have a 700 gold lead on the Gwen. And ultimately, Impact is in a great position to be a carry, and you kind of look across the map. That could have been very bad, mainly because not only did APA die, but hongQ had an opportunity to push in that mid wave, get an extra play. More farm would have been lost, but he TP'd to top. And then APA even went to top himself. So in terms of the gold difference, the carries are still in a good spot. So even though the dive looked a little bit sketchy, it's still a very good position for TL to find themselves in this early game.
Well, we've got about 25 seconds until that second set of grubs makes its way onto the Rift. This one, I feel like, is one of the objectives that's almost always contested in every game of League that we see. CoreJJ making his way towards the mid lane now. You can see he's very close to level 6. There it is. That minion secures it for him. Back down in the bottom lane, Impact with a slight EXP lead over Rest, but Rest also is about to hit that level 9 breakpoint. You can see the teleports are ready for both of the top laners. If this does turn into a full battle up here in the topside river, they will be ready to join, but it is still a pretty slow channeling time. So we'll see if anybody decides to commit early to that, because right now it's CFO with control over the river.
Spotted out Kaiwing on the flank. Gets some good vision as hongQ is awkwardly separated from his team. Here comes the ulti from APA.
Okay, Weaver's wall is going to fly in there, but it's not doing a whole lot here just yet. CoreJJ trying to make sure that hongQ can't get up towards the rest of CFO. TP is going to get committed. CFO, they've already claimed 2 of the grubs. Team Liquid trying to go in for some kind of a play. Yes, they knock hongQ up into the air, but what else do they even get? Nothing. Team Liquid They've lost the grubs. They're trying to force CFO out, and CFO is happy to take their exit with the grubs under their belt. Nicely done. Yeon going in further after hongQ now. Goes for the killer instinct to cut off the escape route. Yeon has found the enemy mid laner, but he does not quite have the damage he needs to secure the kill. CoreJJ wants the rest of the chase, but hongQ can just use the shifting sands to slide away.
A heavy commitment there from Yeon as he flashes in to apply the autos, knows that he has the ultimate to cut off his escape route, but then he just changes his route. He creates a space where he can just glide over the wall with his EQ combo, and he's able to avoid any potential kill being picked up by TL.
So critically, I did miss in the grub fight. There was one grub claimed by Team Liquid in that one, so the grubs do end up being 3-3 overall, though again, like we mentioned earlier, no credit towards the feat since it was a 2-1 split and a 2-1 split. So those are all not going to shake out to any Void Might spawning or any major impact, really. JunJia just going to secure another Scuttle Crab down here on the bottom side of the map, 25 seconds before the next Drake spawns. CFO ready to try to overload this side of the map, see if maybe APA gets a little bit too greedy, see if maybe they can force a play onto this Taliyah early on. Kaiwing waiting around just in case APA steps up, but the Taliyah will not give them that opportunity. Yeon needs to clear out these last couple of minions here in the mid lane, but it is CFO, again Vedius, who are first to the objective.
Certainly are. And with this Trinity Force spike on Doggo, it might be a scary fight to take. I mean, UmTi's really not in a position to contest. Doggo goes in, nice damage, but the tower shot combined with the W from Yeon is able to trade back fairly evenly. This is going to be another contribution to the feats of strength. And I think that this is wise from Team Liquid. They don't feel confident enough to go for the fight right now. UmTi will be spotted out, but I don't really think Kaiwing can punish this.
He stole away some little chickens. That's something. Doggo tries to follow it up. First Mystic Shot gets blocked by a chicken. Yeon and UmTi still need to run away from this one, I would have to think. Doggo trying to fire into Yeon, but it's UmTi caught out, punished. Beautifully done from CFO. That is kill number 3. That's the first feat secured.
I did not think that UmTi could be punished. He had flash up. His Q did get interrupted, but he still had the ultimate if he really needed to kind of utilize some kind of CC immunity, and he just gets flashed on. He just gets punished. The collapse comes through, and it's a kill handed over to CFO. They will get that 3 kills. They find themselves 2 objectives up, and the gold is dead even. So again, like, I look at this and I'm thinking, okay, well, the team is very far away. Kaiwing might be annoying here, but it should be fine. So at this point, like, he can just ulti the Alistar, but okay, he chooses to just walk away from that point. Bear in mind, he still has flash, and he chooses to channel the Q, doesn't respect the flash engage possibility, and he just hands over a kill. So CFO happy to pick that one up.
Can see the frustration on his face with that one. Just giving away a free kill in a game that is this close really feels bad. They don't want to just have that extra gold injection in their opponents before they're going to have to get to these bigger fights. I mean, you're talking about a game state where you've had the surrender, the first 2 Drakes to the enemy team already. You don't want your jungler falling behind. Lane economy snapshot presented by MasterCard here. You can see, yes, the biggest advantage is still that of impact up there in the top lane 1v1, but a lot of the other bars are looking pretty red, Vedius.
But I will say that if you are a TL fan, that bar is really the only one you need to pay attention to, because impact is going to be a problem for CFO. The great thing about these carry top laners that have been largely reintroduced thanks to the lane swap meta dying is that it becomes a side lane threat and a potential team fighter that who really deals with them. And if CFO can leverage their range, they can outpace the Gwen and they have tools, but right now CFO setting up for a dive.
Yep, they want to focus where the Taliyah is as APA is ready to ride away. CoreJJ with the grand exit, but it's not grand enough. APA needs to keep on kiting, but CFO wants to keep fighting. A nice seismic shove to knock JunJia away, but it's still +1 for CFO. They go right where the enemy roaming champ can be and force him to roam all the way back to base.
On the opposite side of the map means that there's not going to be any counterplay possibilities. Rest is more than happy to just hold the line here as the threat of the dive is so low. Meanwhile, CFO being proactive on the map. They set their sights on the bot lane tower. They execute cleanly. They get the flash out from APA as well. And that's going to be first tower secured. So this early game has only gone the way of CFO as they continue to scale up in this game 1.
Yeah, CFO is feeling great about this one. Up 1,500 gold now. They've already got the first 2 Drakes. If you get to the point where you're now 3 Drakes to nothing here in 2 minutes, and TL has to then come to you and challenge for every Drake thereafter, you're just feeling so good about this front-to-back team fighting that you can set up that TL hasn't had an answer for yet. Now let's see where the Herald fight goes, as CoreJJ is going to be in some trouble here at the very start. Herald low, but not low enough, down to a little bit under 4,000 health. Impact makes his way down into the river now, as Kaiwing could be in some danger of a nice seismic shove, flinging him back into the unraveled earth. Kaiwing still burning. Team Liquid on the chase, but no kill secured. Impact would have needed another needle, and he finally finds it. Stitches up the body bag, and Alistar's down. Rat knocked back into the unraveled earth yet again. Yeon wants a little more, but Kai'Sa is too tanky. CFO walking it back into the mid lane after losing their support. Team Liquid, they claim the kill, and they'll claim the Herald for the reward.
And Impact is only continuing to get stronger. Nice punish on the engage from Kaiwing, as even though he's durable on the Alistar, he's not quite durable enough to stop the chase through coming from Team Liquid. Remember, this was the dive that happened earlier on, and after a play like this, CFO should feel pretty confident moving into the fight around the Herald. A good punish as AP is forced to flash away. They hand the kill over to hongQ as well, and while they can't convert it into an additional kill onto APA, it sets up for this fight around the Herald. APA, though, with a really nice knockback onto Kaiwing, forces him to use the ultimate early, and just look at Impact's positioning here. He's such a threat so early on into the game already. CFO is forced to retreat from the fight, no engage really comes through, and Team Liquid find themselves the Herald along with another kill.
All right, we'll see what kind of value they can get from that Herald. They are still 1,000 gold behind. Their opponents have still claimed the feats of strength, and that next Drake is spawning here in 15 seconds. Doggo with the Trinity Force completed, with the tier fully stacked. All he needs is the gold to purchase the Manamune. It'll instantly evolve into the Muramana for a massive power spike, but it does not appear that he'll have time to do so. CFO so far has been doing a great job of being in the river first for neutral fights. CoreJJ already losing half his HP there to some of the poke. Doggo hurts so bad right now.
Certainly does. They've sent hongQ up to go and match Impact on the Gwen for the time being because the TP is available. APA grouping with his team. I'm impressed that CFO could still get prio on that mid lane. Typically, it would be a little bit harder without the Azir, but Rest acting as a wall. Third dragon of the game, quickly going down.
Yeah, 6,000 HP remaining on that one. Rip Carol going to be summoned up in mid lane as a response. Dragon already down to 1,500. Team Liquid is too late to the party. Nothing's going to happen. It is sole point for CFO as Team Liquid gets that Herald charge onto the mid lane turret, but it's not even enough to claim the thing, so no gold injection from that objective use here, as hongQ now walking through the topside river. UmTi wants to find him here with a Vault Breaker. Sees the shadow there of the red silhouette, but does not decide to engage. CFO was moving up rapidly with the rest of the squad, so UmTi choosing discretion as the better part of valor on that one, while APA takes the opportunity with everybody else from CFO heading towards the top side to protect their mid laner. He's going to try to take out this bottom turret here, but won't quite have enough damage yet. Again, both mid and bottom lane tier 1s Vedius for CFO, just barely hanging on by a thread.
I mean, so far, Flowers, you know, you've been a neutral commentator, just stating on the facts of the state of the game. But
yes, sir.
As we're in a lull, you know, objectives not available on the map, how's the North America in you feeling right now? How
I'm sweating bullets.
You're sweating?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, it's a tense game, man. The goal is dead even. And CFO with a slight advantage. Right now, I don't think that anyone has any significant lead. Ooh, APA, he's going for this fight.
Yeah, APA goes for the seismic shove there, but Rest, it's just so easy for Kai'Sa to use the Pathmaker against something that's as telegraphed as seismic shove, to just say, no, I'm never getting shoved. So can easily get out of that one. Ruinous Otacon has spawned down there in the bottom side. Now, Vedius, this could be a very chaotic situation because we have a game where one team has 3 dragons very early, means every dragon subsequently then has to be a fight, and we also have
Soul too.
And we have Otacon right next to it. So if either team ends up getting some really heavily favored team fight, 4 for 1, 5 for nothing, whatever you want to call it, you can not only claim the dragon, you can claim the Otacon right after. Doggo with that Muramana that I was talking about, the purchase is complete, and this guy hurts so bad. Just a couple of Mystic shots to anybody on TL, and those health bars are bleeding.
I like the lane assignments as well for CFO, just because APA being forced to group, I mean, Impact is getting a lot of experience, don't get me wrong, he has that full level lead over Rest, but hongQ is benefiting in the same way, about to take over to level 14, he's able to hold the Gwen, thanks to the wave clear that he's gotten. Keeping Azir in a side lane is a very safe thing to do, and while K'Sante will lose out a little bit, remember, his role is to be a bodyguard. He's supposed to be a frontline. He's going to be there to make life as difficult as possible for Impact, who's going to look to be the main carry in this game.
Let's take a look at where everybody's itemization is at right now, because we already mentioned Doggo hitting that Muramana point, which is really huge. You can see the Seeker's Arm Guard completed for hongQ, massive outplay potential on that one. Over on the other side, not quite a second full item completed for APA in terms of mid laners either, and Yeon is still working towards his second fully completed item on the Kai'Sa as well. So Impact is feeling really good. Everybody else, things seem to be pretty neutral or favoring CFO.
Yeon. His spidey senses were tingling. That brush did not feel safe, and he was right. There was a Viper sitting in that brush waiting to strike, and he will navigate his way to safety. Catches that mid wave. Keep your eyes on the top lane, though. I notice a bit of trading happening between both hongQ and Impact, but again, it's that slight range advantage that is really benefiting hongQ, and you'll notice on the HP bars at the bottom of your screen how he's able to just get those favorable trades, and he can just keep the wave pushed in, and he's at no real threat, which is why I love these lane assignments that have come through from CFO. The TP, they're committing to this. UmTi spotted on the top side of the map.
It's a full send. It's a full send from CFO towards the Oton. They're saying, all right, you want to send your jungler up there? Everybody's coming down here. They've already got the thing down to about 40% HP. Nobody from TL is close. Impact's going to make a TP nearby. CFO, surely they've already got this. Team Liquid caught completely unaware. CFO takes the Oton, no challenge.
Just a fantastic play from CFO. The level of awareness is hongQ now in a bit of danger. UmTi on the flank.
Ooh, Doggo clearing out the control ward here. JunJia jumping over the wall. UmTi, instead of finding an opportunity, only finds a grave. JunJia jumping right back towards him. Another Vault Breaker is going to be needed to get UmTi away. Immediately they turn it right back at hongQ. He gets the shuffle, but it only hits UmTi. Yeon and Core have to try to get away, but CFO have already found the first kill here with the fight. Kaiwing looking for something into the back line, and he grabs APA. That mid laner from Team Liquid, so very low, but not quite dead. Kaiwing taking everything as one final Void Seeker finds the mark. It's Yeon versus Doggo, and a little bit more damage is going to get it done with the Acathian Rain. Impact keeping JunJia and Rest busy as Yeon continues disengaging. Rest with the flash forward for the Intofo strikes as Yeon with a supercharger has to try to get away. Impact finally shut down by hongQ as APA and Core try to get out, and Rest kills Yeon. CFO scrapping with Team Liquid in this battle.
What a crazy skirmish around the blue buff. Rest interrupting the backs.
Rest in a little bit of danger here, potentially.
In a lot of danger.
APA needs a lot more damage because Rest is still K'Sante. He's still just walking away from most of it. He's still using the Pathmaker to block any CC, and he'll walk it off. Dragon Soul claim CFO.
I mean, that whole skirmish started with UmTi being caught on the wolves. He was trying to create a flank onto either Doggo or hongQ. He gets spotted out, and it devolves into this crazy fight around the blue buff. Notice here, he's getting interrupted. He's trying his best to escape. He flashes over the wall. Nice use of the blast cone there from hongQ. And then hongQ sees an opportunity to make a massive wall happen, but the charm from CoreJJ buys him a little bit of time. While UmTi does go down, a lot of resources now committed. The TP comes through from APA, while Impact is coming in from the flank. And this flank from Impact is crucial because Doggo gets separated from his team. Kaiwing falls, Impact doing good damage on the back, and with the arrival of Rest, it just devolves into chaos.
And look at hongQ's health. He survives with 50 HP. That hourglass, that stasis that I mentioned earlier through the Seeker's Arm Guard is the difference between hongQ dying and Impact dying here. Absolutely massive outplay from the CFO mid laner on that one. And then Rest cleans up Yeon down here. He waits for his cooldown so that he can't be punished afterwards. Now we'll see if Team Liquid can find anything, because CFO, they got the Oton. They got 4 Drakes to nothing. They've got feats of strength. They've got everything. Despite the fact that the gold is still so close, CFO has made Team Liquid look silly multiple times this game.
I mean, the thing that I love about CFO's style is they're not overcomplicating it. They did the exact same thing against KC, where they know they're good team fighters, they trust in the champions that they have confidence on, and they're executing well. Team Liquid haven't been able to find good dives. We haven't seen any dive combination coming through from UmTi, Yeon, and CoreJJ. We haven't seen the picks from this Vi Taliyah combination. While Impact continues to get leads, so far they're not really converting it into any significant presence on the map. So Team Liquid only continues to lose more, and now with the Soul gone, Elder becomes a massive threat.
The Elder Dragon, the ultimate equalizer. For Team Liquid, it could be a way back into the game, or it could be their final death sentence. CFO has done such a good job managing the threats from TL, and I go back to the draft and what you were saying, Vedius, where the burden of execution is on TL, and that burden has felt very heavy this game.
Certainly has. John, you should be safe as CFO set their sights on the mid lane tower. Good damage comes out from Doggo as that tower is sure to fall now. But the Rakan as well, equalizing a lot of the experience deficits that they found themselves in earlier. Notice Rest, you can see from the pink bar at the bottom of your screen, he's above Impact now after being a full level down, and that was the value of picking up that Rakan from earlier.
So much value in that thing, man. And CFO now, hongQ level 16. Remember, this guy is such a young player, man. Only 17 years old. And going back to what APA was saying about, oh yeah, he's a rookie, he might get nervous. We're just trying to try to get into his head. 2-0-1, up 1,000 gold, 2 items fully completed, 2.5. He doesn't seem too nervous to me. Ooh, this was a very strange engage from UmTi, decided to commit the Viol onto the Alistar. Kaiwing just walks out of it. Team Liquid looking desperate to find something here.
I mean, desperate is the right word, Flowers. Doggo. No, can't quite steal that, but hongQ.
Oh, hongQ wanted to get the shuffle, but a flash out from UmTi keeps him alive. CFO seeing if there's chase potential. Seismic shove onto JunJia. Yeah, CFO, they might not have got any kills there, but they've got the health bar advantage. They've got control over the topside river, and they've got Baron started up.
Keep your eyes on Impact. He is going to be crucial as the Baron drops to about 50%.
Team Liquid looking to try to stop this. Baron at half HP. Impact zoned away by Red. JunJia tagged by the Void Seeker, but the Baron's already down to 3K. Into the pit goes CoreJJ. A lot of damage given to hongQ, but he keeps himself alive. Given the stasis, Baron secured by the side of CFO. They got to try to keep getting away, as now Impact has to jump back over the wall, and Rest is doing a great job zoning everybody out. UmTi is already dead. Team Liquid, they lost the Baron. They lost their jungler. They're about to lose even more. A seismic shove is mistimed, and APA is dead. JunJia and the rest of CFO in hot pursuit as a Mystic Shot finds another kill. Team Liquid lose everything, and CFO leaves them with nothing left.
hongQ just feels unkillable. His use of the Zhonyas, the slide and glide to get away to safety, as the front line of CFO just refuses to fall. The Baron, the inhibitor, they set their sights on the Nexus.
And it doesn't look like there's a lot TL can say about it. It's a full 5-man push from CFO. The first Nexus turret is already down, and Kaiwing on the front line has no intention of joining it. UmTi's gonna fall yet again. Another shuffle guarantees an ace for CFO, and they'll take game 1.
Incredible stuff from CFO. Again, they stick to their game plan. They execute effectively, and in the team fights, they just play it better. CFO looking strong.
You said it back in draft, Vedius. They had the easier to execute comp, and Team Liquid couldn't rise to the challenge in this first game. Now we're going to a break, but we'll be back real soon.